Okay. Um, Good evening, everyone, once again. And it is very lovely to have you here once again in today's session. Uh, we'd be covering the lab part that was left yesterday. And personally, I'm very excited for that, sir. So, um, apart from that, too, yesterday's session was a very fruitful one, and I hope everyone else is also very gladly looking forward to it. And over to you, sir.
Thank you. Let me share my screen and we'll start the session. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So in today's session, what we are going to cover is completely the hands-on part where we are going to find a specific transaction and we are going to figure out how the transaction flows. And I'm also going to tell you one interesting pro tip where there is one specific thing in cybersecurity which is called as OSINT. See, OSINT is like open source intelligence. We can able to gather information which are publicly available, and we can use the information that are openly available. People don't know that their information is sourced online, but still we can get that specific data using specific tools, specific softwares, and we can use that data that we get from those softwares for our personal investigations. I'll teach you everything about that. First, let us have the hands-on. Like, first thing, we are going to analyze how a transaction could be traced down, how a transaction is recorded on the specific blockchain explorers, and what are the possible tools that are available which helps us to trace the transactions. Okay. So here I have a basic version. We all know there is something called as blockchain explorer. No matter what the specific blockchain network is, there are n number of blockchain networks such as Bitcoins. Binance has their own network, Ethereum has their Ethereum mainnet. So these kind of things have their own blockchain explorers. So we are going to pick one specific blockchain explorer, and after picking that, what we are going to do is we are going to take one specific transaction ID. If there is interaction or if there is a flow of funds, for example, there is one person sending their this amount of cryptocurrencies to another person, they have their unique addresses, but there is one intermediate identification number, and that identification number is called as the transaction ID. This transaction ID is helped to trace. This is actually the kind of data. Using this data, we can find out what amount of transaction, how much transaction is being done, to whom it is being done. So we are going to take one from a public source or from open source areas, and we are going to investigate on that one source. After taking, which is the step two, after completion of step two, which is taking the specific transaction ID, what we are going to do is we are going to enter that. Basically, we are going to drop that transaction ID onto the blockchain explorer, and we are going to check the sequence of transactions using that one ID. So after entering the specific transaction ID, what are the details that we get? The first information that we get is the sender's address, which is the wallet that sent this amount of cryptos. The second information that we get is the recipient address. So basically, who sent to whom, that details we get. So how much amount, that will also be specified, and what was the transaction fee that was paid for the blockchain. If you initiate any transaction over blockchain, you have to pay specific amount as the transaction fee. Yesterday, one person, he asked a curious question: how do these people earn using Bitcoin mining, or like how do they get free money? It's not like free money. These kind of transaction fee is accumulated when the transaction is taken place, and these accumulated transaction fee, from these transaction fee, one portion is given to the blocks that validate the transaction. That is what they get as a reward for their specific mining. So after finding these details, Once you get one address or two addresses, you can still more dig deeper onto that address. Again, you can find more information. You can find the flow of funds. Using that, you can actually trace the entire workflow, how the funds are actually going. So next, you can analyze the pattern, and by once you get the flow, you can automatically analyze the pattern. And final step is identifying the potential risk factors and identifying where this goes and getting still more additional information and closing the case. So this is how the workflow is. So let me start with this one first. So in this scenario, I'm gonna take bitcoins because bitcoins is one of the most popular cryptocurrency network, and n number of funds are flowing in blockchain, especially in the Bitcoin network. If you just go to Chrome and if you just type Bitcoin Explorer, you can find n number of Bitcoin explorers, and you can pick any one of them. All plays the same role, but the information that they give slightly differs. And these are certain information about the blocks, how much transactions are being taken place. These are some basic open source information. Let me go to this transactions, and it is actually limited over here. Let me go to CoinGecko. CoinGecko and Coin Market Cap, these two are certain popular exchanges, like popular exchanges come platforms. They have still more deeper information. Here we have limited addresses. Only 10 or 17 addresses, the top 10 addresses are being listed over here. But if you go to these platforms, you will get additional information. You could see a specific search bar here, and if you click on Bitcoin, you could see what is the current market cap of Bitcoin. So the interesting part that doesn't lie over the graph, but if you just go a bit deeper, just give me a minute, it is loading. You could clearly see all the kind of transactional flows down. Can you see this one? Can you see this data over here, which states which exchanges has which much amount of volume of bitcoins and what is the price they're actually having? This information we don't need, but we need this information, which is volume. If you look at this flow, we get specific information regarding the stake of the specific exchange. This is a centralized exchange, but if you go, just give me 1 minute. Let me take that transaction flow. So if you just click on this area, you'll be getting this. Just give me a minute.
Sorry, sir, I joined late. What I am understanding is that any transaction has some transaction ID and that you are searching in a public domain, that how to search, right?
Exactly. Basically what we are doing is, we rather taking a dead transaction id, I'm just searching for a real time transaction id so that it will be easier for us to understand.
If I have some old ID, can I put in some website and get some information, just like you
Yeah,
have?
if you have any transaction id, just drop it in the chat box. We can also use that, no issues. Do you have such one, any transaction ids?
No transaction ID means in your PDF there is one ID was mentioned, no?
That is a dead id, but yeah, we can also use that. But I'm just looking forward for a real time id. Yeah, this one, I'm just looking for a larger stake. Can you see this? Yeah, this one looks good because
This transaction fees is paid to whom, sir?
transaction fees is paid to whom? This
Yes, sir. I'm
transaction fees, this transaction fees, it actually goes to this specific one, which is the nodes, because it is actually validating the transaction, right? So that is what. Yeah, this one is having good. Like actually, I just got this address. This address is having around 54 BTC. Can you see this? Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Can you see this?
this is huge.
58 BTC. Can you see this? Just unmute yourself, guys. Can you see this? We have this address
Visible
has.
and 58.
I mean, come again.
This is huge
Some
money.
your audio is breaking a bit. Can you please pardon?
I'm saying this is huge money.
Yeah. If you go to the BTC to INR, you could just see the statistics. We got an address of around like 58 BTC. Okay, 58.4 BTC, and this is what it's worth in Indian currency, which is around 48 crores, which is around 48 crores. And what we'll be doing is, we know there is an address over here, right? We can just check this in multiple transactions. OSINT BTC scan. We have n number of tools to investigate OSINT informations. Guys, OSINT is this term is commonly used inside this area, which is cybersecurity industry, because if you look at the way the cybersecurity experts they investigate stuffs, they'll be sometimes using all the open source information that are openly available. Here I have a list of tools. I'll be sharing this during. I'll share a notes of this. But if you go look out here, you have n number of resources regarding blockchain investigations as well as blockchain explorers. And the list of things, these are actually blockchain explorers. You can use any one of them to identify what transaction is taken place. Okay, first let me take this 3xpl.com. Okay, what I'll do is, I'll just paste the transaction ID which I got from that explorer, which means 58 BTC worth of transaction that is taken place from this one address. Okay, what I'll do is, let me check what details I'm getting. Yeah, we know that the outputs over here, this is the input, which means from this address this amount of funds is being received, and this is equivalent to around 56 lakh, I guess. Yeah, 56 lakh dollars. And this is one information that we are getting. But using this, what we can do is, we can just copy this, and you can create another instance of this. I'll create another instance of this BTC scan. I'll copy this, I'll paste this, which means I'm creating another tab. I can analyze from which address this funds came to this address. So basically, I'm just going to the site, pasting the address, and yeah. And here you could actually see at June 14, which is today, 13:49, 58 BTC was being sent, 58 BTC was received, and 58 BTC was being sent, and this kind of things is happening. They're actually sending and receiving funds.
While multiple people are sending money, because
Multiple transaction is simulated. It means 58 BTC is actually coming, and the same 58 BTC is going. He's actually doing, can you understand what is happening over here? Why should he continuously simulate this process? There is one thing, which is actually illegal, but few people will do that. But it is not considered illegal. If you look at the price difference, between exchanges, one exchange will have price one price of BTC. Another exchange will have a slight lower or slight higher price of this BTC. Okay, so what these people, huge investors, they do is they just call it as arbitrage trading. What is arbitrage trading? They basically get information. I mean, they have a huge hold of bitcoins or any sort of crypto. Using that crypto, what they'll do is they'll purchase BTC from the website, from the exchange that is super low, and they'll automatically sell it so fast in the exchange that is good. Let me show you one thing. In this coin market cap, previously we saw this now. Can you see there's a price difference over here? Here we have $96,485 in BitGet. But if you go to this Upbit, we have $98,000. There is actually $2,000 now. The difference, the price difference between these two exchanges. Can you see this? 96,000 and 98,000. Probably there is around at least a minimum. The pair is different, but probably there is a minimum of like $100 to $200 saving per Bitcoin. Just think of this calculation. We have 58 Bitcoins. We are actually getting $2,000 per transaction, which means for one Bitcoin. Okay, $2,000 for one bit. If you have one Bitcoin, if you purchase from this website and if you swap it, you'll be getting a solid profit of $2,000. If it is for 58 Bitcoins, this is the profit that they make, which is $116,000. And if they do it for 5 times, this is the profit that they make, which is equivalent to 5 million.
sir, I didn't get what is happening.
But sir, why would people be buying it from Upbit just because it is higher on the price?
No. Actually, not every individuals will do this. Not every common traders will do this. Certain people would use this is actually a loop. Okay, this is because sometimes the price range, it will not be updated on the exchange, which means the older price will stay. Or else it will be a 5-minute delay. 5-minute delayed updation would take place. These pro traders, they'll use this specific loophole. They'll leverage this loophole in order to initiate the transaction. They'll just do transaction within minutes and they'll get the profits, just because the data is unchanged now. Could you understand what I'm saying? Actually, if you look at the exchange price, every exchange should have a constant price, because if not, obviously there will be an involatility. So it is mandatory that every exchange should have the moreover similar price. Okay, if even though if there is no huge difference, at least small differences would exist, but major differences should not exist. If any delayed updation in the server perspective of the specific exchange happens, if they perform this without doing any efforts, they can just give the funds, take the funds back without doing any efforts. If you look at whose funds are locked over here, this is actually public people's funds. People who do intraday trading, their funds will be locked over here. They'll get a sudden pump. They'll be thinking that if you have a good experience in trading, you'll be knowing about intraday. Intraday is basically they'll buy a stock or they buy a cryptocurrency, the same day they'll sell it. They just do it for short period, but the risk factor is high in intraday trading. But people use this loophole to just steal funds actually. That is what it is happening in this area. Why should he send and receive constantly the same amount of bitcoins? Can you see this? 58.49, 58.52, 58.49, 58.46. It is actually coming. This plus denotes incoming. This minus denotes outgoing, which means this plus denotes that the amount is credited, and this minus denotes that the amount is detected. This guy is actually performing in intraday trading. He's actually leveraging the exchange stuff, which is the exchange loophole, and he's actually getting a lot of profits.
So this is
But
intraday of Bitcoin.
this is not intraday, but he's actually using a loophole inside intraday. If you look at ethically, this is not right, but technically they are eligible to do this if they have that good
Sir,
skill
what
set.
I am understanding that there are different platform and their updation is different. So this
Yeah,
person is transferring money from one platform to another platform,
yeah.
which has a lesser price,
Hmm.
and later on it will update to a more price.
Yeah, basically you're getting goods from someone who are selling in a low price and you're selling in a higher price. Ethically this is not fair. Just he's actually exploiting a vulnerability. He's exploiting a specific loophole inside the specific difference rate between exchanges. This this is one small version, but in some cases what will happen is you'll be constantly receiving funds, but you'll never ever do that, which is you will never shift the funds. That kind of accounts also, it is so hard to find. If you're investigating a blockchain case, you're constantly getting funds from funds to one source. And if that source, for example, assume there is one address, 50 bitcoins, 70 bitcoins, 80 bitcoins, it is coming constantly to that one address. But if that one address is not at all initiating the transaction, it is so hard to find. I'll give you a practical example. If you find the wallet address of Satoshi Nakamoto, he is the founder of Bitcoin. He actually published the white paper of Bitcoin in 2003, and he is the founder. But his identity is not revealed. But he is having a solid of like nearly half of the bitcoins. If there is around 50,000 bitcoins, he's holding around. I'm just giving you an example. There is more number of bitcoins, but assume if there is 1,000 bitcoins, he's actually having half of the stake of bitcoins inside his wallet. If he uses his wallet and he is converting that entire bitcoins into cash, he would be the 15th richest man in the globe. That amount of bitcoin he holds in his wallet, but he never uses that. Let me even show you that. This is actually a mystery. Nobody knew who is Satoshi Nakamoto. This is not his face, but still people are searching him.
Who is the founder of Bitcoin? We don't know.
No, we don't know. Because it is anonymous, he didn't reveal his identity. We only know the name. That is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Who does the one question is still who does manage the whole server of this blockchain? Means, can we assume that at some time the uh, m- m- blockchain will be cancelled, or means blockchain will shut down?
No, it won't. We only don't know who created it, but there are people who support this. I'll give you one example. We don't know our ancestors who created these traditions, who created the culture. You know, The practices, religious practices, we don't know, but we do still follow them, right? Same way, we
Yes.
don't know who created this. That we only know the name, that is Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know how he created, how this is running. Just using the protocols, it is still functioning and it will still function because Web3 is the future.
But where does the main data store means the information is going? There will be some computer which stores some information, some protocols.
Everything is splitted and shared inside nodes itself. There is n number of computer. Let me show you one. Let me show you one thing interesting. Wait. Actually, we have one search engine called as Shodan. Okay. Uh, this Shodan, this is one interesting search engine. You know what interesting thing about Shodan is? We can find public information easily using Shodan. It gives you easy results. Actually, here, this product Satoshi, this keyword which I entered over here, this is a prompt. A prompt is basically a kind of, if you look at, if you know GenAI, you know, the more specified prompts you give, you get the more precise information. Same way that applies to dorks as well as this Shodan searches. I'll teach you elaborately what dorks is, okay? Before that, understand this keyword. If I just enter this keyword, I can find multiple information which is regarding this specific Satoshi. Satoshi is actually, if you take one Bitcoin, it is split into small particles that is called as Satoshi. If you look at the Satoshi keyword, there are this number of servers. In US, we have like just, this is actually one keyword. We have like more than thousands of keywords, but using this keyword, if I find for servers, we have 3,000 servers in US, 1,500 in Germany, France we have 433, Netherlands. This is one small keyword, okay, but we have a total of 8,800 computers just by using this keyword. But I'll show you another interesting thing. I took a specific information about all the possible computers, which is the Bitcoin nodes that are running. You could clearly see this one is this is in Italy. So you could see these are the servers that are actually running. No matter what, this won't shut it down. Your data would be splitted. Each and every transaction, each and every record, each and every transaction ID, every wallet address, everything, it is available on the cloud and it is available on these systems. Even though if all the systems, like 90% of these systems shut downs, still Bitcoin will remain.
So this is a one computer. It's somewhere in US, which is helping in this tradition of the Bitcoin, right?
This only validates the Bitcoins. It doesn't create or it doesn't enhance Bitcoin. It just regulates Bitcoin. That's it.
Okay. So why some person will open this? He will require some money for electricity bill, etc. What will be benefit? So
If you
are these
create,
are
that's what you get reward na. If you open a server like this and if you work on, like if you start a server like this, automatically automatically it will cost you your electricity bill, automatically it will cost you your GPU, because the power is the most important thing when it comes to this servers. You need
okay? So
super
this is the
high.
Bitcoin mining.
Exactly. You get reward when you bind. They pay you Bitcoins if you establish servers. Basically, you're trading your power for Bitcoin. Could you understand the point?
Yeah, I get the point. The that transaction fees might come here, maybe.
Exactly.
Okay.
The transaction fees is paid to the servers and it's paid to the network, which means if your computer is validating transaction, you can also earn Bitcoins. But the one thing that you have to make note is you need a lot of GPU power. That's why most of the crypto miners, they use this 4090 RDX GPU, because that is one of the fastest. They'll have a rig. They'll call something called as rig. In this rig, they'll be holding like 10 or 12 4090 or 5080 GPUs, they'll connect all the 10 GPUs to one system and they'll mine in that. Because in Bitcoin, it is purely about the power, computational power.
Why not government uses his supercomputer to mine Bitcoin if the money is there? Means no government has ever interested to mine with his supercomputers.
Because, good question actually, no government took interest in doing this because there is no centralization. This Bitcoin is completely decentralized. The advantage of decentralized is you don't need to pay taxes. If government is involved in this, obviously there will be tax exemption in a higher rate. If you look at, there is the law passed by Indian government, which means they see the cryptocurrencies as an asset, not as a mode of payment. You have to understand, Indian government is looking crypto, they are seeing crypto as an asset. That is the bloody reason they're having 30% tax on cryptocurrency exchanges, which means if you're about to convert one Bitcoin to INR, in that amount you have to pay 30% as tax. Okay, but if you look at countries like USA, they does not promote this Bitcoins, but they permit Bitcoin transactions. Even Tesla, they accept Bitcoin transactions. Tesla by Elon Musk. if
Okay.
you if they indulge in these kind of web3 projects, automatically there will be huge loss in taxes. If there is no tax flow, obviously they cannot give anything to they cannot develop the country. There will be a lot of plans will be cancelled. That would prevent the economy. That's why they don't indulge in these kind of activities. If a tax exemption could be made using this, actually a lot of people are doing this. Still tax exemption is going on using Bitcoins. I do admit money laundering is also going on with Bitcoins. N number of money laundering. Even I found certain cases where they are actually holding tons and tons of Bitcoins. They're just converting their cash into Bitcoins and they're just storing this without paying any single rupee tax. They're holding this. That too happens. What if everybody started to use this? If government legalizes Bitcoins, everybody would start using Bitcoins, then automatically nobody would pay taxes to the government. If there is no taxes paid to the government, people who know about crypto, they'll save money. But people who don't know about cryptocurrency, obviously they'll be stagnated. More taxes will be laid on them that will collapse the economy. It might happen. That is the reason they are not legalizing these cryptocurrencies. It is not illegal. Using cryptos is not illegal, but certain illegal activities indulge the use of crypto. That is why they're just not legalizing it. Okay.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Mining. So mining means collecting all the transactions, validating them, ordering them, and then putting it, creating a block, right? This whole process called mining.
Exactly.
And since there are many nodes, they all will be trying to create that block. And once they done with creating the block, means validating all the, so do all of them get the share of like that transaction fee, or only the one
No,
that
no, no,
creates
no.
the block?
No. That is why Satoshi Nakamoto, he cleverly made a move over here. That is, each time you create a block, for example, if you're just starting, you'll be given a block. If you solve that algorithm, it is actually an algorithm. It is a kind of mathematical calculation. Okay. Once if you solve that, automatically you can able to validate transactions. If you solve one level, when you do for the second block, automatically the hardness, the complexity of the algorithm would be increased. Again, this goes on. If you look at, if you just start mining now, automatically it will take you years to mine one Bitcoin because the complexity is became so harder. Can you get the
Okay.
point? If you are mining today, if I mine yesterday, if I finish a block yesterday, automatically the level of complexity is increased. So that level of complexity is only when you will be starting. You will be starting with that level of complexity. Then again, tomorrow if I start doing this again, the complexity would be added for me from you. That is, you will be, I'll be another level of complexity based algorithm other more than you. Can you understand? the levels will be automatically increased. It will be common for all. The more power you validate, the more number of transactions you validate, and the more number of computational power that you give to the blockchain network, the more rewards that you get.
Okay,
Sir,
so
yesterday you
what if two nodes started on at the same point and they were able to solve that problem and were able to create. I mean, were able to solve that problem and were ready to create that block. So what would happen in that case?
If two computer, it actually we have it's not like one algorithm, we have multiple things, because more number of fund is flowing na. It is not about only solving it, it's more about validating. If both validate more number of transactions at an equivalent rate, obviously they'll be getting more over equivalent amount of reward, not exactly the same reward, but more over similar kind of reward.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So I specifically mentioned a term called as dorking. Do you know what dorking is? Any ideas what dorking is?
I think something like we will do search on Google, like
Dorking is actually so interesting because you can use your browser as a hacking tool to identify open source information. You can find out vulnerable information just by using your browser. That is so interesting because you don't need to do much. All you need to do is just find the proper dark, find the vulnerability. Let me show you one interesting thing. We have something called as Google hacking database. This Google hacking database is actually backed by Google. This is the repository, or we could probably say this is the library. This is the library of all the docs. You could see these are just one line words, right? Would you believe if I tell you we can hack public cameras using this? Honestly, we can do that. Would you believe if I tell you that just by using one specific piece of code we can hack public cameras? Would you believe? Unmute yourself, let it be interactive. Would you believe?
no.
There is something called as this .html. Actually, if you go to any kind of there is actually, if you look at the cameras, there is two type of cameras: wired cameras and wired cameras. Wired cameras stores their data inside databases, but unwired cameras, which will be of internet or wireless cameras, they'll be connected over internet. If you find the valid dark, and if you use that specific dark, if you filter out searches in an effective manner, you can find out open source vulnerable cameras instantly. For example, this dark is outdated dark. Sorry, give me a moment.
So these cameras are open source. They are publicly broadcasted. No,
Yeah,
that is why.
they are not publicly broadcasted. They are actually private cameras, but due to the vulnerability that has existed, they became public. We are not aware that these are publicly available.
So the new camera company definitely have fixed this issue, right? If we go to buy the new cameras.
Probably they might have fixed. It depends upon the camera provider, and it depends upon the service provider. But even though it happens, this one still exists. We can't control everything at the moment because each and every new vulnerability exists over time. It comes instantly. Let me also share you still more talk. The reason I'm sharing you is this because using this also, we can try to gain access to blockchain networks. Some private blockchains can also be exposed using darking. This is the basic version of docking. That is why I also kept this inside our main hands-on. Can you see this? This is actually a database. Nobody is permitted to access this actually, but still, just because of the vulnerability, we got access to this entire stuff. And this is containing some images of something. It's a
So
tired
maybe
image.
this is not validating. Anyone with this URL can go to this database, right?
Exactly. Anybody with the URL can go to this database if they have the specific URL. But one thing you have to notice, because note this, which one means if you go to this URL, that is the domain name. This is some old website, I guess. We cannot get much information. You cannot gain entire access to this specific backend database. Only if you have this URL you can get access. If the company of the domain name service provider is not aware about this, again data could be exposed like this. Let me show you another database. Let me check with the stock. If you understand how this docking works, using this docking, what we can actually do is we can use certain docs inside Shodan. Shodan also helps us to identify public information. If I just search for this .shtml, sorry, yeah, this much amount of .shtml cameras are online. You can access these cameras without even having the admin privileges. You could see more than 1,500 cameras could also be accessed. Same way, we are even supposing we are having the potential to gain access for this specific cameras. Then think of data. We can just, if I just want this address, what I can do is I can just take this address. I can search, is there any open source information that is available with regarding this address or anything that is similar to this address. But most of the time, if the address is not, if the pattern is not recognized, we were discussing about the pattern flow yesterday. If multiple transaction takes place in a same pattern, or if one group of organization is using a specific pattern, it is easy to identify the pattern. If that pattern exists, we can take this and we'll be getting multiple results that this kind of information is being passed from these websites. Using these open source websites, that is this BTC scan, BTC explorer, and a lot more things, we can actually identify the exact workflow. So this is how it is done. Can you understand why did I use docking over here? The method that I use here to gather some information regarding the address, that is called as docking. This is how docking works. Could you understand what docking is, why docking is used, how docking can be used in our scenario? Can you understand this? Guys, please unmute yourself.
Dorking means something publicly available database.
Yeah, docking is a way that helps us to identify publicly available information, vulnerabilities that are not openly available, but we can, it is still on live, which means it is still on the internet. You can break down those vulnerable endpoints and you can find those endpoints. That is what docking is. And using docking, we can get additional information regarding this specific blockchain. Can you get the point? Let me show you Yeah. Can you see this list of documents? I mean, this list of codes over here. I have a list of 15,000 docs. Okay. These 15,000 docs consist of multiple files and multiple information. It gives us multiple information that are openly available. For example, if I take this Bitcoin debit card.cfmat ID, if I just copy this and if I paste this on the internet, since the algorithm behind this Google works depending upon the keywords, I can get multiple information regarding the debit cards and CMF cat ID. I can also include another keyword which is in URL. This in URL is a kind of a formally used keyword which helps me identify whether if the link consists of this keywords inside it, I can get those. Here you could see all these kind of things has this debit card based links. That is why I can get in the open source links like this. Same way, what I can do is I can get addresses. But for that, we have to identify a group of addresses first. Can you understand this workflow, how this goes on, how this doc works? Hello? Guys, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, audible. Yes, sir, understanding little bit, sir.
Okay. Let me show you another thing. This is the repository of all the possible free open source on-chain investigation tools. We have multiple tools for multiple reasons, like each one gives us certain information. So these tools over here are clusterizers. We understood about what clusters is, how clusters are being taken, and how to identify clusters like in the yesterday's session. So these are the possible tools that gives us information regarding the clusters. This is one such tool. This is actually a paid tool. Most of the tools in Web3 are paid, but you might have certain alternatives as well as certain backend tools. And if you take deeper into this investigation, cybercrime investigation, blockchain investigations, certain access for certain tools are limited. Only these LEAs, law enforcement agencies, they have the access for these tools. You might have came across this, right? If people are creating this fake profiles on social media platforms, automatically if you go to cybercell, they'll block that profile immediately. Do you know how that works? Do you know how that works and how they actually do that?
No.
Okay. Actually,
They will
these law.
mail to
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
I think they have control to that social media platform. Means if Instagram, if government want to close some ID Instagram, he can issue the notice to that from his ministry. No, sir.
But there are more than 100 millions of accounts in Instagram. But each time, these they cannot send a notice, and each time that would be so delayed. And look at how many agencies, how many law enforcement agencies are there in Tamil Nadu or in one state in India itself. We have that much. For example, in one state, how many districts we have, how many cyber cells we have. Same way, entire India, how many cyber cells we have. Look at the globe, how many law enforcement agencies, CBI, FBI, NIA, NFSS, n number of organizations are there. How do they do that? Because a lot of people are doing this, nah. So for this, we have one specific backend for them. They have this Meta Law Enforcement Agency portal, Meta's LEA portal, where only people from these law enforcement agencies, they have the access of this tool. Using this tool, just by entering the username, they can identify which user, where he is using, which is his IP address, along with his number which he is using and email address, and the law enforcement agency also have the access to block their account, which means deactivate the entire account. What they'll call that, there is a specific term. They'll just disclose the entire specific account, and they will not. There is an option in LEA's portal which won't allow the user to create another account. That is also possible using these portals. That is how they, a number of law enforcement agencies, they close these scam accounts, people who impersonate, or people who try to scam away funds using social media accounts. This is how they shut it down.
That means you are saying that a Indian law enforcement agency like NIA can block any account within some 10 to 20 seconds
Exactly, they can.
without informing that institution.
No, they can shut it down.
Okay, means my Facebook account, my Twitter account can be shut down without going to the Twitter itself,
No,
without the
it's not
permission
like
of
without
Twitter.
going to the Twitter. If they process your request of closing automatically, if they have that valid proofs, automatically they can close it, because they'll be closing you on behalf of one suspect, right? Either you are impersonating someone, or you're spreading violence or spam, or you're sharing some explicit content. On some terms, you'll be violating some conditions, right? If they
But
have the valid proofs that you're violating,
why it is
automatically they can
happening?
close it.
But why it is happening? Sometime government claim that like Twitter is or YouTube is promoting something, and they are not blocking the fraud thing happening or some illegal thing to India happening on the social media platform, and government is requesting to that platform to block the users, but that platform is promoting that users.
The reason is because uh, we can block certain accounts, but we cannot block the features that the app has. That is one thing we have to understand. The second thing is, if you regulate everything depending upon the government, the company will not get enough revenue, because that will limit the users. Obviously that will limit a lot of users. Again, these will be reflected in the revenue that is generated in the company side. That will be also another factor that is influencing this. And again, if you look at the awareness that people in cybercell and people have, it is probably less. We are actually emerging. We began developing our cyber skill into a stronger level. But if you look at the law enforcement agencies and cyber security departments that are there in abroad, in USA, in especially in FBI, they are well versed. They are even capable. They have that much good potential cyber security researchers, even shut down dark web forums. In yesterday's case study, we saw that FBI closed the Silk Road. They have the potential of even closing a specific forum on dark web. So why not social media platforms? They could, but they should have the proper awareness, and they should have the proper measures to work on this. It's not like Meta gives this access. They have to initially do a procedure where they have to request access. Once the request is granted, automatically Meta will be giving them access. But most of the law enforcement agencies, only the main cities in India have that access. Normal small cities, they don't have. They have a small cyber cell department, but still they don't have all the privileges that these main city cyber cell departments have. That is why, even though if you report a cybercrime complaint or cybercrime case to your local cyber cell department, probably 90% it will not be fulfilled, or it will not be recovered. I've seen a lot of my mates. They used to report to the cyber cell. We filed more than 100, 200 cases on online frauds, online scams, but still we haven't even got a follow-up message. It happens because in number of cases, that is we cannot complain the cyber cell also, because they are flooded with complaints. If they get 1,000 complaints, how could they investigate each one? That is also one factor that we should think of them. But still there are certain constraints where people get their recovered scam, like if they got into some scams, or if they got into some serious cyber crimes, they also got recovered from that too. This is the right scenario, this on-present scenario of all the cyber cells in India. Certain cyber cells are actually excelling, but still, India need a lot of cybersecurity researchers, cybercrime investigators to enhance the security of our entire system. And the sad reality of India's security is that NPIIC, this NPIIC is the organization that handles all the government websites in India. Entirely, they are the only one who is responsible and they are the one who handles this. But if you look at the security, if you go to any Indian website, any Indian government website, if you do penetration testing, you'll be flooded with a lot of bugs. Even that includes some sensitive information too. It is because they are not properly handling data. Even one of my friend, he found sensitive Aadhaar PAN information, even passport information on a government website. It still happens. Even though he reported that to the NPIIC portal, there is no response from their end. That is how the security infrastructure of India is in right now. We have to enhance that. We have to take measures for that. So, any questions about this or any doubts you have on this?
I have a doubt about the study you told that SAP 256 algorithm or
Yeah,
similar algorithm is used in the blockchain. So
yeah,
blockchain has emerged about 10 years back, right? So one thing that
yeah,
the blockchain is completely dependent on the cryptography.
exactly,
And before 10 years, there is no, I think there is little knowledge of quantum computers. Now the quantum computers are coming now. The
exactly,
and the quantum computer are very famous for breaking the cryptographic system. And there is also some contest happening to build a cryptography system that quantum computer could not break. So each blockchain is protected for this cryptography attack or quantum computers uh, thing.
interesting question. Actually, if you look at the complexity of the blockchain networks, it is so complex. Even I'll not say that a blockchain is 100% secure. I'll not say like that. Any system, any supercomputer, even the most secure computer in the world right now, it is also hackable. Blockchain is also hackable, but it is hard to hack blockchain. If you go to this private VDP programs on blockchain, we have if on Web 2 we have this. How many of you heard of this? Bug bounties on Google, Apple, Microsoft. They have these programs, right? They just offer rewards for bugs they find on their applications. How many of you heard of this? How many of you heard of this, guys? Companies, they reward you with cash if you find valid bugs on their platforms. Have you heard of this?
Yes, sir.
Same
Yes, sir.
way, same way, blockchain also offers these kind of private VDP programs where you'll be paid in millions of dollars if you find valid bugs on blockchain. Can you get the point?
Okay.
Similar way, they're also enhancing the security of blockchain. It is also taken place in Cyprus. It is not like the protocol that established in 2013 that is going on still now. No, it is gradually increasing. The security is also gradually increasing day by day. It is becoming efficient. It is becoming more secure as the time passes. I hope you do understand.
Yes,
There is
sir. I
chances that you can
understand.
hack,
The
but it is
protocol is
so
being
hard and
changed.
tedious.
The protocol is constantly changing, just like the company's systems change.
Exactly. It is not like protocol is changing; it is enhancing day by day. Any other questions? Any other questions, guys?
No question, but in chat, one student is asking that Is there any history of blockchain hacking happened?
Recently, WZRX, you cannot hack the entire blockchain network, but that is hardly possible. Hacking the entire blockchain network is hardly possible, but hacking one wallet is possible. That is what happened in the WZRX recent attack. Let me show you. Even WZRX, they created a vulnerability VDP program to identify anybody who identifies the wallet will be rewarded with this much millions of dollars. This is what happened. $230 million is stolen in crypto.
This was a bug or this was a mistake?
This was a small vulnerability that was inside the they'll call it multi-signature wallet. There was one vulnerability that was present inside that wallet. Vulnerability means the loophole. So due to that vulnerability, he just intruded into the wallet, got access, and he got the entire crypto in Ethereum. He just got the it is a mix of assets. Okay, they have BTC, they have BNB, they have Ethereum. What he did is he got all the assets, he converted into Ethereum, and he got it to another wallet. That is what this case is. This is the amount of Ethereum, 59,000 Ethereum. One Ethereum
And
is worth of like
they were
2,500. Yeah, what?
they were caught off or not?
No, the person, they're still searching the person. It is not possible to find him. It is hard to find him actually because he is using mixers.
But money is used, so definitely or they will use the full power.
Exactly. This is one incident. Similar way, millions of dollars has been looted. If you take the statistics, n number of n number of dollars, n number of crypto coins has been looted. Even one of my friend, he's in Palestine. He's actually having an IT firm in Palestine. He holded 50 bitcoins in his company wallet, but accidentally, due to the vulnerability that existed inside the system, I told you, right, you can also store your cryptocurrencies inside your devices, and that will be stored under this wallet name, wallet.dat. So what happened is he stored 50 bitcoins, like 50 to 55, nearly that amount of bitcoins into his system wallet. He stored into that wallet.dat file. His system got hacked. Automatically, that guy, what he did is he stole this file. He stole this wallet.dat file, so automatically his 50 bitcoins is stolen just because of one single vulnerability that existed inside his system. His system, he didn't properly manage his system. He had a vulnerability inside his system. That guy, he gained access to his system. So if he gains access, automatically he'll find the file, right? Wallet.dat. He just took the file, stole the coins. 50 bitcoins is equal to huge sum, right?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sir, that wallet is different and that blockchain is different, isn't it? The blockchain is something where you, the transactions are this thing, no, registered.
Actually,
But whereas wallet is something. Both of them,
actually,
excuse me.
no,
Tell me the
yeah.
difference between the two.
Actually, blockchain is the entire network.
Yeah,
Your
that is a
wallet,
decentralized
yeah, it is a
ledger.
network.
No? Yeah.
Yeah, your wallet is one storage device which has a unique identification ID, which is called your address, and it acts how could I tell you? This blockchain is like entire network, and your wallet is one device inside the network.
I see.
Like same way
Okay.
we are using social medias, right?
Yeah.
Instagram is a whole network. But your device, you have one unique ID. You're having one social ID from Instagram, right? Same way it is for blockchain. Blockchain is kind of the entire network. In that blockchain, one type of network is Bitcoin. Like that, we have multiple networks. Inside Bitcoins, we have multiple wallets, which has that unique identification number, and one wallet is that what we are actually talking right now.
That is,
Can you understand the difference?
excuse me. See,
Yeah, yeah.
if supposing if there is any theft of this bitcoins from any of the wallets, etc., but that's not going to affect, that blockchain, wherever that blockchain ledger, wherever the transactions have been recorded, no, that will not get altered, no.
No, no, no.
So
That
those,
wouldn't affect.
okay, so those two things are different, isn't it? That
Yeah,
wallet
yeah.
is different from that blockchain, no,
Yeah,
ledger.
exactly. See, that's what I told you. Hacking the entire blockchain network is hard, but you can hack one wallet or you can hack a specific wallet. That is
Okay.
easy. Again, what happens is that uh, if you look at this one, this wallet security, we are the sole responsible for the security. But in case of this blockchain security, the blockchain network is responsible for the security. In order to enhance that blockchain security only, they are laying this kind of vulnerability disclosure programs. I told you, right, they are offering this much amount of bounties for the bugs they report inside blockchain.
I see.
And another interesting part about this blockchain is it is Web3 now. It is built on programming languages that are not on Web 2, which means how many of you heard of this term Selenium? The programming language we have Selenium.
Selenium, no, sir.
Exactly.
I see.
Solidity. Any ideas?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we hear.
yeah, these
Writing
are
is
yeah, these are programming languages that are used to build Web3 applications. The protocols itself would be different. So that's what makes it tedious to hack Web3 protocols and Web3 based applications. Can you understand?
Yes.
If it is
Yes, sir.
normal
Thank
web
you.
if it is normal Web 2 application, probably it will be built at Java, or it would be built, the backend would be Java, the front end would be HTML, CSS, the basic things the full stack developers would build, right? Since we all know the full stack development, a lot of developers are emerging, we know how the workflow works. If the server has the backend of Java, we can use XSS, which is a kind of attack to exploit it. Or if the server is using SQL injection, we can use SQL injection. If the server is using SQL as the backend, we can use this SQL injection attack to extract the databases that are present. But for Web3, we don't have much resources. We don't have that much exposure towards breaking down the entire network because it is tedious and it is harder to break. Encryption plays a vital role in blockchain. Recently, even we since I'm the founder of Specklar, we we laid a foundation for a project which is called as, like, basically we'll be having two different nodes. We built that project under the name of Advancement in Information and Communication Technology. Basically what these two kind of things happens is, if I want to share some so sensitive information regarding the nation's security or regarding the defense or something that is so important and confidential, there will be this computer, my computer, and the receiver's computer. Okay. So what my computer does is, it will convert my data into encrypted format. After converting my file into an encrypted file with a so complex algorithm, it will break down the encrypted file into small chunks of data called metadata. It will actually first convert into metadata. Again, that metadata would be split into multiple partitions. Again, what I'll have is, I have 20 to 30 nodes, which means 20 to 30 cloud computers. So what I do is, I'll just place each portion. If I have this much amount of portion, I'll just place chunks of this portion in multiple computers. You know what is the outcome of this way of communicating, of this way of communication of data? Even the hacker attacks one system, he will not get any data. Even though the attacker attacks, if there is 30 computers, even though if the attacker attacks 29 computers, even though if the attacker attacks 29 solid computers and he gets the data of solid 29 computers, he cannot retrieve the data back because he will be missing that one chunk of data again. Another advantage, even though he hacks the entire 30 nodes, he'll have all the chunks of data, but he will not know which kind of algorithm is used on arranging this data. And even though if he finds the algorithm, he doesn't know how to decrypt it because decryption algorithm is also different. This kind of complexities happens if we use blockchain. So it is harder to break down the security of blockchain. This is a small project that we are actually working on. We are actually working on a product in Specklar, and even for a small scale product, it requires this much amount of intense hacking practices to break down the blockchain. So think of this huge network. Think of this huge complex networks. How hard it would take to break down. Can you get the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, you said that we can hack the one particular wallet, right?
Yeah.
That wallet we access through our most of the times what we means end user access that wallet through their mobile numbers or the login IDs. Means credentials.
Exactly.
Then does that know? Means how they hack create the vulnerability and access that through mobile number OTPs, how they get the data.
Okay. Let me tell you one simple thing. There is Instagram. I'll take the best example, Instagram. There is a user who is using Instagram. Okay. It is so hard, it is so complex to hack the entire server of Instagram. But it is easy to hack that one user. Hacking machines is complex, but hacking people is easy. Hacking is basically the way of playing with human psychology and finding vulnerabilities. Think, assume there is a person who is having a crypto wallet. What I'll do is, if he is having let's say an example that he's having Trust Wallet as his wallet provider. There are n number of providers like Binance, Trust Wallet. These are providers, which means service providers who provide you the wallet address. They assign you the wallet, okay? What I'll do is I'll replicate the same exactly similar application to this specific web application or website similar to this site. Then what I'll do is I'll just send a message to them that your wallet is being hacked. Just click on the link to retrieve your wallet. If I send this kind of link, this is called as social engineering. You play with the psychology of people. You play with them and you make them vulnerable by using your psychological tactics. By doing, if assume that you are using Instagram, if you are getting a message stating that your Instagram is being logged in this area, please click on the link to sign out your devices. If you click on this, automatically what you will think? You will think that somebody is trying to log into my account. I have to safeguard my account. So automatically what you will do? At this next second, you will click onto the link. But you will not know, you will never remember, you will never acknowledge that this is the area where you are going to be hacked. That link could be a phishing link or any malware or any Trojan, which will come into your device, extract all the data from each and every letter you type to your front and back camera access. That is also possible. Even the microphone, right? People do hack cameras, microphone, everything is hackable. Even they could even screen the screen share of your device. That much intense it is possible just by clicking a link or installing a specific program. Hacking is all about manipulation. 90% of the attacks that takes place in hacking is comprises of human interaction. Without human interaction, also hacking is possible, but the number of attacks that takes place is comparatively less. If it is of server-side based attacks, human interaction less attacks would be more. Human interaction less attacks would be more. But if it is of this 1% common man attacks, obviously the user human interaction would be higher. If without human interaction, hacking is hard. Can you get the point?
Got it.
Any other questions?
So I believe
Excuse
actually,
sir.
Yeah,
yeah, please go.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, I have one doubt. So, uh, when I was a new
Hmm.
user of phone pay, so
Hmm.
I was new for phone pay. So that time, uh, there was a certain time that I was I was needed some money.
Hmm.
Okay, I was traveling somewhere. So that time one phone call came to me, and the person told that you got a 500 rupees, just collect it, otherwise it will time will out and you will not get that money.
Hmm.
So he told me that log in your account phone pay.
Hmm.
So I don't know how he knows that I am using phone pay. So I just opened.
Actually,
uh,
this is actually basically a kind of scam. Somewhere your data would be exposed. There will be certain databases that would be leaked. Okay, if even though you are having your data safely, sometimes the websites that you go, the websites that you visit, will also have information about you. For example, I'll give you a real time scenario. If you're searching something, if you're talking something about a new phone, let's say it is an iPhone, if you're talking about iPhone, automatically you'll be popping out with ads of iPhone. How many of you remembered that? uh, Even I felt lot. If I am talking about something, automatically similar ads would be popped out. If I'm just talking about shoes, I'll be getting a lot of ads in Chrome, in Instagram, everywhere. I could see the ads of the product that I talk or that I search. How many of you noticed this?
Yes, sir, I have noticed that.
yes sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you look at the way, yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
sir, this thought, like we are talking now.
Hmm.
So maybe somewhere, like I am telling that I use iPhone. So maybe
Hmm.
these things are listening by someone like AI, or more powerful than AI. Actually, we are don't know. Okay, there is boundless something, experter than experter. There is expert than expert. So, sir, I want to continue that my problem. There was a little bit something I need to tell you. So he told me that just open your phone and you will get 500 rupees. So I opened, and the pin was asked. So I
Okay.
entered the pin and 500 deducted from my account. Okay, so I was in phone call with him simultaneously.
Hmm.
So after that, I told him that yeah, money has gotten from my. I was in hurry also.
Hmm.
I was in hurry, and my my presence of my that time,
Hmm.
and I was also needed money. So
Hmm.
I thought that I will get 500. Yeah, it will be good for me. So I entered pin, and it happened opposite. Okay,
Hmm.
whether it will told me that again you got a 500, just take it that one. So I also foolish that time I again enter and 500 again pin. Then I understood that this is something is going wrong with me. So I have cut the call. Okay, so again he called me after half an hour. So he told me that you will get all the money, just you pay again more 20 or 40. Okay, so this much amount. So at that time I also I something have taken, I have taken a recording also. I have, but I have taken a phone number and the transaction, all the details. Okay, so I have taken these all things, and I went to my nearest bank, post office, bank in main
Hmm.
bank branch. So I told them that there was one someone is staying and doing something about papers. Okay, I told him these things happens. He told me no, don't, these things will not be solved. Even if you go to near police, they will not do anything. And bank also they don't care about these all things. He told me that he told that these things are so common in 2021. So I have a phone number I have saved in my drive, and also I have transaction. So is there any possible to come a technology that I may find that person maybe 40 years after?
Actually, the thing that you had experienced is a cybercrime. Remember one thing: nobody will give you even one single rupee for free. Even will you give me if I ask you something? Nobody would. No single person without any benefits from me will give you free money. If you hear something free money, that is a scam. And remember one more thing: if you look at these kind of scam approaches, they'll be having certain keywords: urgent, fast. They'll actually make you into a hurry. They'll create a rush in you, so that when you're in rush, obviously you'll forget certain evidences. You'll forget something. You'll forget how in that urgent phase, there is a famous saying: whenever you're so sad, or whenever you're so angry, or whenever you're so happy, don't make decisions, because your thoughts will influence you. These kind of cyber criminals, what they actually do is they'll create a rushful environment. They'll create a rushful environment, and that environment will automatically make you to follow their instructions. And if you follow the instructions, automatically your money is gone. You filed a complaint, there are certain regulatory measures within 5 or 6 hours of the transaction. If you initiated that, automatically you can revert the transaction. That is possible. But if it is exceeds 24 hours, you cannot retrieve the funds. But if you're filing a complaint, and if you're able to trace that bank owner account, and from the cyber support, it is also possible. Right now, like, it's been a long time, 2021, we have a 3-year gap. But if you still have the bank account, I will not say that it is not at all possible, but still it is possible to find him just by the bank account. If the bank account is live, and if we find which number is linked to the which, that is possible. If you go to your nearby police station, just tell them to find which mobile number is linked with this bank account. Even if you go to cybercell, they'll help you out with this. Just ask them which mobile number is linked with this specific bank account.
Sir, such
And
a fraud has happened to many people. Like one of my
n number
friend
of frauds are
also
happening. Even I get a
40
lot of
40,000
7 to 10
rupees has
scam
been
calls.
40,000 rupees has been stolen. They have complained to the police station,
Hmm.
but the money has not been recovered. Neither the person has been caught. The cyber cell, the report has been done, and the other thing means there are many frauds and money is not getting returned to the person. Why
That is
it
the
is
problem in
happening?
India. We don't have that much capable cybersecurity researchers in cybersecurity. Indian government, they are not taking enough actions for the security. If you look at the companies in India, and if you look at the IT companies in abroad, each year they'll split this 20% or 30% of the revenue for security, just to enhance their security. But in India, we don't have that. They won't. In order to get more profits, Indian companies, they don't invest on security. That is why there is less scope for security in India. But if you go for abroad, there is huge scope, tremendous scope. If we want to fix all these kind of scams, if we wait for someone to fix this person would fix, this person will fix, nobody's going to fix until or unless you create the change by getting the awareness about these kind of things.
But sir,
It's
this is a simple thing, bank to bank transaction.
Yeah,
Why the police is not able to catch the such a small thing? That is
it is
the question.
because actually these criminals, they don't use their actual bank accounts. They'll go to dark black market, not dark web. They go to black market. There are certain areas like Jalampur in North India. There is one area. I'm not sure about the name, but there are certain areas where you can buy fake SIM cards, fake bank accounts. They just use this. They just use this fake bank accounts and fake SIM cards to create banks, and using banks they'll create the payment. And once after a month or 2 months, they'll just dissolve that bank account. So if at least one number is linked, we can find it, right? That is the
But the
reason.
money retrieval cannot be taken without going to bank or ATM. So there they can be catch. No?
That is not possible. Money, if you want to retrieve your money back, only when you find the criminal you can retrieve your money back, and that
No, no.
requires
What I
serious
am saying that
investigation.
if the money has transferred from one bank to another,
Yeah,
the criminal has to go to the bank or either to the ATM to
mm.
get out the money, no?
No, but instead, what these guys do is they just purchase something online. It might be a gift card or it might be a subscription online. It
Okay.
might be a gift card or it might be a subscription. And using that subscription, he'll just convert it. There is n number of ways to do money laundering. They perform this.
Okay.
Like Ashum, I have a solid 10,000 rupees that is a scam amount in my fake bank account. What I'll do is I'll buy any online, I'll just indulge in any online transactions. For example, you can buy gold in Mintra and Nika you can buy gold. They'll convert this into that articles and they'll pledge that gold and get back their money. This is also possible. We cannot find out how this money goes, but this money will flow. Can you
Okay.
understand this?
Okay. So there is some online money laundering cases is also possible, and that is how they be anonymous.
This is not just one scam. This is a collection of multiple scams. Even uh, I personally researched on this case. If you go at all the gambling applications, all the rummy circle, n number of gambling applications are there. Know what? One thing is common. Every applications are Chinese applications. They get Indian currency. How will they transport that huge amount of Indian currency to China? I was curious. I began investigating. So what these guys do is they buy fake bank accounts, convert. They also employ certain Indians for this. They basically convert this Indian currency into USDT, which is Tether coin in Tron network. So after converting this into this specific one, they'll automatically shift this into USDT. That is, they convert Indian currency into USDT. They'll give a small percentage to the people who convert this, and they'll transport this amount of USDT to the address in China. This is how the entire gambling side is working. They just get money. They get money from India, convert it into USDT, and transport it to China. This is how 90 to 100 types of gaming applications, gambling applications are working. N number of money. It's not just one crime. N number of crimes are happening in the back end. Money laundering, identity theft, a lot more.
Okay, sir, got
Would you
it. Means
understand?
this gambling app, we means that these online apps, we can transfer the money from bank to these online app, and the online app can give money back, and they don't give this record to the government, and that is how
Yeah.
the person being anonymous.
If they want to, if they want the record, they have to approach the company. And again, if the fund is flowing from two to different three companies, it would again be tedious to search just one.
Right, sir. Right.
That is the reason.
I see. Madhumita, you also have a question. Maybe this could be the last question because we are already 35 minutes over time and sir is gracious enough to take the question. So maybe we could go to the last. Madhumita, please do.
Actually, I'm a beginner and I want to learn how to do all these forensic. I wanted to start my career in this, and how can I start my career?
Okay. So the first thing that you have to precisely understand is how this, how this protocols, how this technology works. First, understand how this blockchain works and how the transactions are, how the transactions are processed, how the validation takes place. If you're directly jumping into blockchain forensics, definitely you need to do a lot of hard work and normal investigation. How investigation takes place in Web 2, if you have an idea, you can automatically ace the investigations you do on Web 3 because it is moreover similar. Only thing that changes is the protocols, the technologies, the way we exploit them is different. But moreover, it is similar. So if you want to start a career in this industry, which is the security sector, you have to understand how the basic protocols work first. After understanding this, you can study this threat intelligence or you can study this cybercrime investigation. There are openly available resources for this. You can find that even if you go to my LinkedIn, I do hold this. I just shared a bunch of resources that are openly available. I've just shared a lot of resources. You can also refer my profile too. I'll even share my profile inside the chat box.
Yes, sir. I'll just posting your link,
Yeah.
profiles link.
So same way you can also refer, and by this, by enhancing the base foundations in Web 2 cybersecurity analysis and Web 2 based investigations, then if you step into blockchain, if you step into this Web 3 based investigations, it would be easier for you. If you directly go to this forensics on blockchain, you might find it a bit complex when it comes to this protocols, when it comes to this measures that you take for each incident, because it's not like one task. You'll be doing multiple things at the same role. It is a collection of multiple processes. So in order to understand each process, each workflow, you need to have the foundations. I hope you got the point.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So
Okay.
if you have any other questions, you can also connect me over LinkedIn. Since Chatrapal, he shared my LinkedIn on the specific chat, you can connect me over LinkedIn. I'll also clarify your queries on LinkedIn too. I'm actively available on LinkedIn. And
Okay.
we got more than 40 minutes of your time, Chitrapal.
Yeah, I mean, ours is fine, but you giving us 40 minutes of your time is a big thing. So, thank you very much for going so much over the time and being there for all the doubts and questions people have. That means a lot. And
That's my pleasure.
the two, thank you very much, sir. And the 2 days, the sessions were very interesting and did I feel would have helped in igniting that fire to learn more and get into this field. And I hope many of you people also pursue this field. If you do, please contact sir for more guidance or any questions you have. The LinkedIn chat is in the link. But it was a very lovely session. Thank you for giving out your time even on this day of festivities all around the country. And you were there present for us. Thank you very much, sir, for these two sessions and these 2 days of fruitful discussion and making us know about this field. And that means a lot. And we hope we can have more such beautiful sessions with you and in this field in the future. We'll also be rolling out a feedback form. So if you have any more suggestions on what you want to see the next time or any more topic you would like to cover, we may even try to do that. And we may even call sir for something more advanced, maybe if that time and everything persists. So
Yeah.
thank you very much, sir. That was a
Will
really
there be
good
more
time I had.
sessions?
Not in this series, but if you guys like, we could also schedule some other time, some other session regarding this. But no, it all depends on you. If you guys want it, we can have it.
Yes, sir. Any practical session would be appreciated, sir.
Surely will do.
Okay.
We'll plan accordingly, and we can. But that time, please give me more time, please, because 1 hour is too
Yes,
short.
sir. Yeah, I mean, next time if that is the case, we could also have 2 hour session. That doesn't matter, so we could keep it at 2 hours. That might help
Okay.
you and all the students. Anyways, it was lovely to meet you here, and for now, this is this. With this, we come to the end of the session. So, good night, everyone. Happy Makar Sankranti again. Happy Pongal, and happy Lohri, whatever the name is for you. A good day to you, and a good night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
I'm so glad to take a session with like-minded individuals who are passionate and ambitious like you. It's my pleasure too. And the questions that you guys give me, like I took a lot of sessions. I took a lot of sessions for n number of institutions, but I never encountered people asking this much questions which are so curious. Because whenever I used to, during my early stages, whenever I go to a session or whenever I'm listening to someone, I'll be looking forward to extract as much as information that he has. We'll be keenly observing and looking the raw knowledge. Okay, I felt the same in you guys. I felt the fire in you. So I'm so happy to witness you all on these 2 days, and I'm so glad. We'll surely plan another session depending upon the availability and timing. And thank you for giving me wonderful opportunity to share my insights and thoughts on this domain. Thank you.
That's kind of you, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And with this, we'll end the meet. And okay, you